So, so I'm not producing much for our YouTube channel. So, okay. So today's class, we are going to work on what to do with all those YouTube channel or all those YouTube videos that we have. Everything in the past, the older listing concierge program are still housed on YouTube. So if you posted your DIY slideshow to YouTube or and the TV shows are all automatically posted to YouTube, you have access to those indefinitely. So it is a good idea to promote your listings as well as your marketing savvy and your expertise by posting these on your channel. So I am going to go ahead and see if I can share with you guys my desktop. Let's see here. I'm going to share with you 1 second. I'm going to log in as Dawn Pelter. Let me share my screen. And she is the Hinsdale office manager, and I'm just going to use hers as an example. So the key to this is to have 2 tabs open, or a couple of tabs open. You want to have your YouTube channel where your videos are housed. It's really quick and easy if you have your YouTube, your own personal business YouTube, because then all of your videos are together. If you did not share them to your business YouTube channel, you would have to have the URL or search YouTube for them. So I'm going to use as an example some of the Coldwell Banker, the blog.global luxury. I'm going to use some of these House of the Week videos as just an example. Okay. So when you are in InTouch, which manages your Coldwell Banker website, you might have a vanity website name, but it is still managed by InTouch if you're using our software. So to get started, we are going to go to the website and we are going to edit the site. So that's how we're going to get started. We're going to start in InTouch and hit edit site. Now, a lot of people put their videos on their homepage, which is the first place people land when they go to your website. But I would probably focus on creating an additional page so that you can manage it a little bit more easily. So I'm going to check in with the chat. So far, so good. Okay. But again, feel free to unmute yourself. I'll probably respond to you quicker that way. So this is when we go to website, manage the site. The home screen is populated pretty much for you. I'm going to recommend that we create a page. So I did this one. I did not publish it. I'm going to go up here and add a page. This is a nice feature that has been added through InTouch as of, I think it was January of this year. So you have a lot more customization than you have in the past. Which is included in your basic package. So let's say we're going to call this luxury home of the week. Now it might tell me, see, it's too long. So I'm going to call this dream homes. And we're just going to name it that. It cut me off. I tried to be too lengthy. You can put in search engine optimization info here, but we're not going to do that at this time. I'm going to create a new page. So I've created the page. I'm going to name it Dream Home, so that will appear on the tab at the top. I'm going to hit save. Okay, so now we're going to go down to Dream Homes, and I want to edit that page. And if any of you guys have been following along on the cheat sheet, please let me know if I've skipped a step, because I did this. I got interrupted when I was creating this, the sheet that I sent out this morning. So, okay, so I'm going to Dream Homes. You can rename it here. You can publish it. We're going to edit it because it's a blank page. And let me check in and see how everybody is. We see a little chat. Let's see what's going on. Where do I find the cheat sheet? I sent it out, Linda, with the invite, but if you're from another office, I can email it to you after the class, okay? So I will do that. Okay, so we've gone to edit the page. This was the hard thing that I could not get a screenshot of, was getting this gray bar, because it wouldn't show up. So it comes up here. So we've edit the page. So this is our new page. It's got one column and there is no custom content. So we want to edit this widget. So it has already provided a widget, which is just a blank section of text or a section of content. Let's go here and we're going to edit this. So if I'm off, my mouse is off of this, the gray bar does not show up. I need this gray bar that correlates to this custom content. So I'm going to click here and I'm going to edit it. Those three dots are helpful in every single program. Now, this is one thing that is not as intuitive to me as the old InTouch. Always be aware that this first custom content tab is only looking at the style. So I think you should be seeing my pop-up menu that says style and headline. I'm going to say this is going to be international homes. So what you could do is, if you have a lot of properties in the western suburbs and then you also do city condos, you could do a section of international homes, you could do a section of Downers Grove, or you could do it by neighborhood, or you could just say just listed or recent listings. And then you could say recently sold or sold properties. So do something that you can feel comfortable navigating. If you create too many specific sections, it's hard for you to manage it, and then it becomes another job for you. You just really want to promote your listings, and you could keep it totally blank as my listings, and then you wouldn't feel like you had to move them to sold. But that's up to you. So this first section is only looking at the style, and be aware if you move this tab, you could have a blue background or a gray black background. So let's take a look and see. Well, actually, I know I'm not going to like that. So I want a white background, and the text would be this gray color. And it depends on the color selections that you have picked. So when you set up your appearances on the website appearance widget, you selected a color scheme. So this is a gray one. So let's hit next. This is where we are going to get the content. And let me go back and check in with you guys and see if anybody's okay. All right, so again, feel free to jump in. So this is the content. So it comes up blank here. We've already added a headline in the previous when we started this. This is where you put the content. So you could either put a street address here, or you can just go straight for the video. Most of the videos that we provide as part of your listing concierge have the address on the top. So you might not even want to do that. So let's go in here. Be aware that this toolbar is across all of these different content widgets. So you can change the background color, you can change the text color, you can insert hyperlinks, you can insert photos. Right now, we're going to go to source code. This is what we're looking for video. So I'm going to click on the source code, and this box comes up. And this is where we need to switch tabs and go to a different place. And I think you guys can see my tabs at the top. I had already bookmarked or opened this tab of Coldwell Banker Luxury. So I'm not saying that I would do this, but this is Don Pelter's page. I didn't want to use an agent's account. I don't have my own InTouch website. So I am going to use just some luxury stuff. She's in charge of Hinsdale. So anyway, so there's every Tuesday there is a home of the week. And these are just dream homes. They're in the multi-millions. I don't expect you to sell these, but this is just an example of how to get video. So you would, if you were using a listing concierge video, you would be going to your video on YouTube. So let's click here. So this is going to take me to the home of the week. And when they start these, they start with a content and article. And within that article is always this YouTube symbol. And we are not going to hit the share button here Actually, we might. Hold on, let me see if I have to click this. Yeah, this one stays on the page. I'm going to hit the share button. And I want to get to YouTube. I don't want it housed somewhere else because I want the YouTube menu that will give me the embedding code. So you have to be either on Vimeo or on YouTube. So I hit the share button there. Let me check in with you guys. I kind of hustled through that. I hope that was clear. Okay. Let's go back. So I had to hit the share and I want more. So that's what I had to do to get onto YouTube. If I wanted to just send it to Facebook, I could click here, but we need more detailed information and it needs to be housed on YouTube. So I hit the 3 dots for more. And here we are. So this is, that's the page that, or the video I want to share. It's housed on YouTube. So once you get to YouTube, you'll see, let me take a glass of water real quick. Okay. So there's a share menu. So if you guys want to share these to your personal page, you can share here and you would save it to any of the playlists that you have already created. So you would need to save it to a playlist or because this is not your video, so you couldn't download it. So let's hit share and stay on point. So once I hit the share, I am looking for this embed code. And that's how we're going to get this onto InTouch. So if I wanted to send it someplace else, I could click one of these links and always keep in mind there's a right arrow over here if you wanted to put it on LinkedIn or your Pinterest for your dream home. But for today, we need the embed code. So I'm going to click embed. And then this pop-up menu. And this seems like a lot of steps, but once you repeat it, you get very comfortable with it. So we're going to hit the embed. This is the embedding code, and we hit copy. I'm not a technician. I just know how to do it. I don't know what embed means, but it tells us the width and the height, and this is standard YouTube. So I hit the copy, which allows me to make sure that every piece of coding is in there. Okay, so I've got this highlighted in blue, and then I open my Market Leader tab. So I started the process, but I did not finish it. So I go in here and I hit paste. So this is the source code. So if you ever need to delete something, it starts with this caret iframe width, and then it ends with iframe at the end. So if you ever have to go in and delete something, like if you put in one after another, they're all right in the same widget, they'd all be in there. So let's, yeah.
Good morning. Sorry to interrupt. How did you go to source code?
Okay, let me go back and show you.
So sorry.
No, it's worth repeating. And I'm going to do this a couple of times because I just don't think it's natural for most of us. Okay, so first of all, it has to be on YouTube. So we see the YouTube or Vimeo. Vimeo works as well, but YouTube is most common. So you see that it's housed on YouTube because all these random videos are up on the right-hand side. So I'm on YouTube. It's the Coldwell Banker Real Estate LLC page, and I hit share, and then I hit embed. So that's where you get embed and source code are the same thing. And then you hit this copy button. So it's showing you what you are getting the code for, and you hit copy, and it turns all blue, showing that it's highlighted. And then you go back to Market Leader. And we'd already clicked. So, and I'm going to do this another time so we can see this. So let's also talk about how you want this to look. So you can, I prefer it to be centered. You can put it flush left, flush right, or justify. I don't recommend justify either because sometimes it spaces. If you put in headlines, it looks weird. So let's hit center. So it's centered within that little widget. So I am going to hit next. That looks really nice. And we're going to review this. So depending on your appearance widget, and I'll go through this at the end, the appearance website widget, you might have a different layout for headlines. So that might be something that you want to change. So this is on one of the templates, and I'll show you this at the end. It designated that. So let's go back. Let's say, and we can go back and edit the headline so it doesn't look like that. But let's change, since the headline is flush left, I want it to go left. And let's say we want to add some text above this. So this is already inserted. So I want to give myself a little room. The easiest way to do that is to go to source code again and click above this. So I have the mouse or the icon at the very top of the source code. I'm in the very first, and I'm going to hit return. So I have a little space. And then let's see here if it allows me to go in here and edit and add text. And it doesn't look like it's going to let me do that. Hold on. I want to get in. I don't want to mess with this video. All right, so let's go back. Hold on. So let's change international homes. Let's not even have a headline. Let's hit next. And here's the source code stayed there. And let's see if, hold on, let me go back to my source code and see if I can type it in here. International homes. So I'm in the source code. Okay. And there we go. So that's how I was able to add the text in the video. So I went back to the source code. I'm sorry that wasn't pretty. And then I can decide I want this to be centered. And I want to change the, make it a little bigger. I do not like that font. I like to use something a little, I don't have a real good global luxury, and I want to change the font size. So that's a 16. I'd probably do a 22. So at least, and we'll look at this later. So I was able to go into source code, type in the headline that I wanted. Like if I want to do subgroups, like you could say Downers Grove, or more likely you would use this as an address. So you would say 123 Main Street. Now let's go into here and let's change this to center and center the whole thing. All right. Okay, hold on. Okay.
And,
Yes.
and it's a quick question. Can each one have its own headline?
Yes. So let's go in and let's do something else. So let me show you how to, and I don't like that. 1 second. Let me go back. Oh, shoot. Did I just do that? Let me hit edit page. I'm sorry, I went too far. And I want to, so you can add different widgets. So there's different ways you can do it. If you anticipate that you're going to want to delete things after they sell, you might want to do individual widgets. So you can do a different widget. So I've hit add a widget underneath here, and you always want custom content. Now, when we started the page, it automatically defaulted to custom content. So we're going to go through the same thing. So let's say this is LaGrange Homes. So you'd have a headline, and let's show you what it would look like with a blue background. And we're going to go back and we're going to get the source code. Now I've learned my lesson before. If I want to type in a headline here, but we're not going to do that because we've put in a headline in the last one. So let's go into source code, and I am going to go to YouTube again, and I don't want this one. I want to go to Chicago Coldwell Banker Real Estate and see what other properties I have. Let's see here. Let's see if there's a global luxury. Let me go back over here, guys. So I'm going to go back to the Coldwell Banker Global Luxury. and I'm going to go to more of these videos. So here's another home of the week. I'm going to get that home of the week, a tour of this. So I'm clicking on it and I'm looking for the video, and I guessed right, there is a, oh, that's not a video. Shoot, hold on one sec. Let me get another video for us. Coldwell Banker blog. And it always starts with home of the week. So I want to get another video. So I think I did this one. Let's try to do this one on Cape Cod. So I've clicked on this. Now again, I want to hit this share button. I know it's a video because it's got the YouTube symbol. I hit share, but I have to hit the 3 dots. And then this takes me to YouTube. I'm going to pause it. So once it's on YouTube, you can get the source code. So let's pause this magic on Cape Cod. So it's on YouTube, and I want this share button. Once I hit the share button, I'm going to hit embed. So I've gotten share, embed, and then I copy it. And that gives me that source code. So I'm going back to Market Leader, and I am going to paste it in there and hit OK. And I can center this or make it to the left. I'm going to leave it to the left because the headline is going to be on the left. I hit next. I kind of want to watch that video. It looks lovely. So if you did a gray background, this is what it would look like. Not my favorite, but it's just an example of what you could do. So now we've got this widget is huge because it's all grayed out. So I probably would not do that. Let's add a section. So section is another newer feature that's only been around for a few months. You can add columns, which a lot of people prefer. It is very hard. It's one thing if people are looking at your website on your phone. It's another thing if they're looking at it on the computer, because it looks like a lot of dead space. Now you can do different things. This is a really nice feature if you want to have a personal video and you want to have text on the left-hand side. This is very custom, and this is a basic feature available to everybody at no charge. So we're going to select this first one. I'd like 2 columns. So these 2 now are 2 different columns. Okay, let me check in with you guys. Are you okay? So there, instead of adding a custom content widget, which encompasses the entire width of that page, we're going to add a section, and we chose 2 different columns, which I think is probably what most of you guys would prefer. So
Can you
let's
go back and show us where we get the 2 columns?
Totally. And I also feel like I should show you how to change the headlines. So let's go into section. So if you are going to the custom content widget, so you're in here, this one is section 1. Widgets are little pieces of code or content that you can move up and down. So if you want to move this video to the bottom, you can move it down 1. And if you want to add a section, that's how you do it. So we added a section and we did 2 equal sections. You can do 3 across. And the nice thing about doing it this way is that it will translate very well. It's set up like Moxie, that if somebody's looking at it on a tablet, it'll look one way. And if they're looking at it on their phone, it looks another way, but it will provide the best layout setup for you. So this is a really nice feature. So we can add columns, and this is new, so I'm sorry I haven't presented this before. Add the sections, and we want 2. You could do 3 across too, but I just think for most people, 2 is ideal. So we've got 2 at the bottom, and I'd already moved up these 2. So that's how, and it shows us 1 column, 2 columns. So it was just this section at the top. So let's do two different side by side. So I want to, so there's two columns, but I still have to add that widget, custom content, and let's say just listed, and hit next. And then here's the content, and we're just going to use the same stuff. I'm not going to publish this website because I might get in trouble. So let's hit source code.
Will we be able to see the whole page of what this looks like?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So I'll clean it up and I'll show you, and we'll preview it. And then I think even more importantly, or not even more, but we'll go in and show you how to select your headlines too. So let's go into YouTube and get, okay, so I'm going to use the same video over and over again, guys. So that one, and then I go back in and I put in the source code and hit OK. This one has a white background, which I think looks the best no matter what the video looks like. I'm using the toolbar here and I'm putting in center. So in the past, we used to put video after video after video in one widget. You might want to, it might look better to do it one at a time in separate widgets so you can delete them, the entire widget at a time. It is very hard to go through source code and figure out what you're deleting. So if anybody has sat in on a meeting with me and I've had to delete the source code. So here's it just listed. And then let's add it this one. So let's see here. So I've got two columns. This will only let me move it. I need to add the widget, custom content, and this will be just sold. And again, I wouldn't recommend doing it that way. Let's go get content here. And I'm going to put the same source code, but I'll go through the basic steps. Let's look at the layout. I'm going to center it. Okay. Now let's save this and let's look at the whole page. So I put two videos in here. So we have got two columns here. The tab, the page of its, the page content name is Dream Homes. We've got just listed, just solds, and you could have widget after widget after widget. And these do have, when you use the At Home in Chicagoland, they usually have the address on there. So let's look at a preview. Preview and save. And we're going to see what we like and what we don't like. So I don't know if you've noticed this, but there's a different way to view everything. So this is the desktop version. So on desktop, there's the headlines. This was the one I typed in on my own. I don't care for that look. This is the one with the gray background. I also do not care for that look. And then let's go back and look at the tablet version. So when you're in the tablet version, it shows it like this. And then you can also view it mobile version.
And what tab, or where is that going to display? Under what tab?
So what, this menu here?
Yeah, the just sold, just listed. Where is that going to show up?
So we created a new page called Dream Homes. So
Okay.
at the very beginning, let's go through and do it one more time. Okay.
So Dream Home is going to be where contact us is.
So yeah, so it would be, there's a home page, there's a my or featured properties page, there's home search, sell, and then there'd be Dream Homes. So you would say, you would probably name your tab, and you can have several pages on your InTouch website at no charge. So you could, let's go back. I am going to save this but not publish this. Okay, and then I'll show you what this would look like. Okay, so we looked at it, how the consumer would view it on a phone and a tablet and a computer. So you could see what it would look like. So let's close Dream Homes and let's start over just for the purpose of repetition. So I'm going to delete this previous one I did last night. And let's also get open some more Let me see if I could find an at home in Chicagoland. Oops, wrong. Okay, so let's say we have some, so it has it by different dates at home in Chicagoland. So you could look at by date. Let's see what's in here, if all of the videos are in here. And that's the entire show. So I would not do the entire show. Okay, so let's focus on Market Leader. So we go into Market Leader, and when you go to website, edit site, this is what comes up. So you can put it on your home page, but if people are trying to find out who you are, they're going to see only your videos, which is maybe what you want. It is harder to manage. So it would be a whole different page of search, sell, communities, my properties, which is another new addition since January. So if you haven't seen my properties page, it lists all of your solds for the last 3 years and your current listings. And if you don't have current listings, you can add office listings as your own. So let's go in, let's add a page. Oh, wait a minute. Let's also show you how to change how your headlines look. So you go to website and launch the website wizard. This looks at the layout, which is fine. We're going to hit next. Colors and fonts. And you should be adding multiple images here. And let's see if, hold on, I want a different layout because I want a different headline. How do we change the headline? Headline font. You can change the fonts. Let's go back. I think if we just change it from Villa to this one, let's see if that changes our headline. So that's your font style and your text color. Here we hit next, next, and here we go. Okay, so let's see if that changed anything. I'm not sure if it will. Let's go back. So we're going to website, edit the site. We're going to add a page. And this is where you would name the page. So this is where the page would be called property videos or LaGrange videos or homes virtual tours or just listed videos or current listing videos. You don't have a ton of space because that's just a tab. But that's what the page would be called. Okay, so we go down to the bottom, we go to property videos, and let's start the way we liked it. Let's go to edit page, and let's go to, this is the custom content widget that's already here. Let's do a section because I thought that looked much better to have two side by side. So I went to the top, I hit section, and now I've got two different videos side by side. So I'm going to click in this first one and add a widget, and I want custom content. This is where I could put LaGrange homes. And you couldn't, it's up to you if you feel like you want to manage this and put them under sold or just listed, or you can just keep it generic and not edit these. Just add them to LaGrange or add them to Downers Grove. So
And
this is, yeah.
Quick question. So you
Yes.
have dream pages like your page, and then like that LaGrange home is going to just be in the video part, correct? Like
Yes,
dream
so it's a
home was
subhead.
the page. Okay.
Yeah,
Thanks.
so this is your subhead.
Okay.
And actually I shouldn't say that. So this will be in the headline style that matches the layout of your page. So I'll be curious to see if by changing the style of the page, if that did that. So let's look. So we're going to hit next. And we'll do it. Now we need the custom content for the video. And again, if you want to put in the street address here in a totally different font, you could put in the street address. But let's go in here to Coldwell Banker. I want to go back to the blog. And I don't want to keep using the same one, but for purpose of time, we're going to hit share because we need to get to that YouTube menu. So I'm still on the Coldwell Banker blog until I hit these 3 dots because it has to be on YouTube for us to get that embedding code. So now I've hit that 3 dots and I see that I'm on YouTube. I'm waiting for it to come up. And I really do want to see this home, but not today, Ann. We're not looking at dream homes. So, so I'm on, oh, and that's in New Orleans. Okay. Or no, it's in Orleans, Mass. Okay, so we hit share. I'm on YouTube. I hit this embed code. So when I'm on YouTube, I can hit the share, and this is an option. I hit embed. And I'm sorry this is redundant, but I think this is not natural for most of us. So I think it's good to do it a couple times. Hit copy. And then I go back to Market Leader and I put in that source code by hitting paste. And I hit OK. And there we go. So that goes there. And again, if I want to center it, I center it that way. And I hit next. And then I preview it. Now look at that neat layout. I love it. So by changing the style layout of the entire website, I got a different headline. And that to me is much more attractive. So, so there we go. So we're going to hit save. And now let's add another one. So this is our subhead. And now we're going to add another one. So this is a little, I always want to go up to this widget here, but I'm in this column and I'm going to add a widget, custom content, and let's call this Oakbrook Homes, Oakbrook Condos. And I like the white background, so we're not changing the style. And then I want to go get the source code. And I am on YouTube already. So I'm on YouTube and I'm going to hit the share button. And then this menu comes up, the embed code. So I get the embed code and I want to make sure that I get every single little piece of coding and I hit copy. And then we go back to Market Leader. And this menu is still up because I am just toggling. And I think you guys see my tabs across the top. So let's hit paste and hit OK. And let's look at next. And you have Oakbrook Condos. Oops, wait a minute. I want to change this and make it centered. Forgive me. I want to center it. I hit next. So not only did the headline change in a much slicker fashion, I don't know if that's grammatically correct, it looks much nicer and it's centered. So I love it. I'm going to hit save. Now let's go back and say I want to have all of my Oakbrook condos underneath this headline. So here's what we would do. We are going to edit this source code. So this is one chunk of your website. You hit edit and we go into content and I need to hit source code. So this is already in here. I don't want to eliminate the previous Oakbrook condo. I hit return a couple of times and then I'm going to use the exact same, like I would say I'd get a new video, hit OK. And let's see if both of them are centered. They are not. I want to hit them both centered. Sometimes InTouch is super easy and sometimes it's not. Center, there, thank you. I bad-mouthed it and then it started to work for me. So now I have two, of course. So I'm going to click on this one. I do need 10 acres. Like I need a hole in my head. Let's see if I got them both. Okay, hallelujah. So they're both centered. And so I see review. So I've got 2 Oakbrook condos in the same. So let's look at how that looks, because we've got one with 2 videos and one column with 1. So on the desktop, it would look like this. And again, it would show up under, it would be a whole different page, home, search, sell, communities, resources, properties. So it would show up as one of these, and it would, I think we called it dream homes. On a phone, it would look like this. Nice. So it does break them down. So let's go ahead. I'm going to publish this and just show you what it looks like, and then I'll just go ahead and delete it. So I hit publish page, preview and save, and then let's go back. And now it says property videos. So that's a different tab. So let's go back to, let's close this whole thing, and I'll show you how to move that page to a different place. So I'm going to close this. Okay, so now we're on this home website edit page, and I have this property video page that I'm very proud of. I want to move it up to the top. So you could make it your number 2 property videos, and you could call it My Marketing Plan or Home Videos, whatever you want. But if you move it around, it will, let's view the site. And then it appears on, oh, it didn't do it. Hold on, let's hit refresh. Or maybe I didn't hit save. Lesson learned, lesson learned. Okay, so at the bottom, save. Learn from my mistake. Got to hit save, apparently. Oh. Okay, so now we're going to view the site and see what we're looking at. Okay, so now property videos is here, and I meant to move it over here. So you could do home page, which has your contact information. Your property videos would be the second one, or however you want to lay it out. And this is not ideal to have 2 in 1, but I still think that's a really neat way to do it. And you could say just sold, just listed, or by town, however you want to organize it. I would just keep in mind that you want to do it fairly simply and not create too much work for you. So again, you can add multiple videos in that same widget, or you can put them into multiple widgets. So one thing to keep in mind, and I don't want to overload you, is you could add another widget. Let me show you.
And if you had all your widgets as 1,
Yes.
and you wanted to change to that 2, does it automatically do it if you click on?
So that's a good question. I think it would not do it because it wouldn't know which widget to put in where. So I think what you could do is get into your current widgets and copy all the source code. And, you know, I could work with you to copy all the source code. But here's another consideration. So I did, this one has 2 different pieces. It is very hard to divide the source code, in my opinion, unless you're used to looking at it. So this is 2 videos in 1 widget. So we did Oakbrook condos. We hit next. And I want to change the source code. So let's say I want to delete the second video. So I'm going to highlight the second widget, the second source code, I should say. I'm going to delete it.
And we're not seeing your screen.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thanks, Steve. It's enough to manage doing this actual stuff. So, okay, so hold on. So what I did was I opened the source code of the widget that had 2 videos in it. And what I did was see here, there's two different source codes. This one, and they're the exact same, but it starts with P style, iframe, and it's got all the information in here. So you want to delete this second widget, delete this, and hit OK. So there's only one. I'm going to minimize this, hit next, and then let's hit save. So it's got this beautiful headline. So now let's say we want to create another widget underneath this. So if I decide I want to move one property to the top, I can do so. So in this instance, if this is also under the Oakbrook condos category, I am not going to put another headline in here. I'm going to default it under the other one. I hit source code, and I'm putting in the second video here. And it's centered. I hit next, and now let's look at that. Hit save. So there'll be spacing in between these two widgets, but it is easier to delete one. So let's hit preview and share. So it's a personal preference. You can put multiple videos in one place, in one widget, or you can separate them. And it is quite a bit of space in between the videos. I think I prefer it the other way. Okay. So I am going, let me check in. Does anybody have any other questions? This was kind of a lot. The key is to remember source code is the two facing carrots. You have to be on YouTube to get the source code. So click on the video on the Global Luxury, or you can click on the link in your listing concierge and go to it on YouTube and then get that embed code. Pretty, did you have a question?
Yes. So when we go to Global Luxury, we can copy anything we want to advertise from there.
Yeah. I mean, these are aspirational videos.
Okay.
It's if you want to associate yourself with Global Luxury and you want to provide some dream home content, you certainly can.
Okay.
So that, I mean, it's those, most of those are international properties. So, and a lot of people, I would start by putting them on your Facebook page and make sure you're driving people to your Facebook too. But I think it's a great tool to have these videos on your website because it's good content and it also shows how sophisticated of a marketer you are. Okay. So Linda, you need that. Does anybody else? Is there anybody else? Stacy, are you from one of my offices? Did you get the cheat sheet this morning?
I don't think I did get the sheet.
Okay. All right. So I will send it to you, and
Okay,
I will
thank
send
you.
it. Because it's a lot to digest. I will upload this later today to our YouTube channel so you can follow along. And thanks, Steve, for being my eyes out there and telling me. Yes.
The last question I have, we can even use office listings, right, to put it?
I would probably not put office video listings up there, but you can do, let me show you. This is something a lot of people aren't aware of. If you have, let me go into, and this is not a good example. Let me go into Pretty's, and I'll go into Oakbrook. And I got to go back and delete that page that I just created. Okay, so if you're in, and you should be, I'm logging into Pretty's InTouch. If you don't have any current listings, which happens to a lot of people, you can add office listings to your website. It's not saying that it is your listing, but it is an office listing. So if you go to, and where you would, that would appear would be under My Featured Properties. So if you want to add listings to your website, you go to Listings, Market My Listings, and it'll show this. You can sort it by My Office Listings. And every office has a different, some offices automatically feed office listings to other people's websites. Every office has different settings. I'm not sure why that is. but you could go to listings, market my listings, and then do the drop down to office listings. And then let's say this was something that you wanted to promote. Let's say you want to promote this. You would click feature this on my website, and it would show up on your website under featured, my featured properties. So you're featuring them, they are not yours, okay?
Okay.
So, and you know, if it's somebody that is more sensitive to, you know, who might take issue with it, you might want to ask them. It's free advertising for their listings, I think, too. But every office is set up differently. All right. Well, I'm going to take a quick break here, guys. I did record this, and I will upload it later this afternoon. And for Stacy and Linda, I will put the cheat sheet in the email to you. Okay.
And
thank you. Yes.
You sent an email yesterday about the new listing concierge. And then different timings, but I couldn't find that email. The classes were starting from.
Yeah, I will send it out tomorrow. I'm going to do 2 a day with the new VNew, and you can follow along if possible and upload your profile and get situated with the new listing concierge. But I'll send out the email. I think it's at 11 o'clock and at 2 o'clock tomorrow.
Tomorrow, okay.
And you guys will have access to the dashboard tomorrow.
Okay.
All right?
Thank you.
I will see you in a few minutes, and I'm going to hang up for now. Okay, thanks, guys.
What are you doing today? Next one?
I have another appointment after this.
Oh, okay. Okay.
All righty.
Bye.
Okay, thanks.